Hey, what's going on, guys? We are live. How's everybody doing tonight? So, I want to welcome y'all to the Backyard Eden Tuesday night live. Um, this is the inaugural live show. Let me just make sure this is adjusted right here. Um, this is the inaugural, the first ever Tuesday night live. So, I'm pretty excited. I hope you're excited too. This is definitely new ground for us, kind of new territory, if you will. We've been doing YouTube for uh, about a year. Um, hasn't been super consistent. We've been kind of here and there, and there's been some times where we went a little while without posting a video. But so live is definitely a new thing for us, and so far we're enjoying it. I went live last Thursday at 11 o'clock in the morning. That was our first Thursday morning live. So definitely we've got two times each week that you can catch us live. So, but yeah, so it's different. It's different than videos. Probably there's two differences that I can think of right off the bat that make live its own beast. The difference number one is obviously it's live. There is no magic of editing. So if I say something stupid, yeah, and I do tend to say some things that are interesting at times, and sometimes even just a little bit dumb. So that's number one. But number two, in the differences between live and videos, of course, is that there can be a lot more issues. And that's what we've been experiencing. I don't know if you've seen our other live videos. I did a couple of test videos, and I did, like, of course, that Thursday morning episode, but that Thursday morning live. And at times, when I went back and watched the replay, at well, most I say at times, but most of the time, it let's just say the audio and the video weren't quite right. So, for example, um, my mouth was moving, and then you heard the audio. So, if you've ever seen like an old school martial arts movie, that's what it was like. And I can't honestly tell you that I liked those when I was growing up. I kind of like and laugh at them now. So, if you could let me know in the chat right now if it's coming through and how it's coming through, because, like I said, I think um, last the last live show was a little interesting, and I hope that I got everything fixed. I think I did. So cross my fingers. I think I got everything fixed. So let me know in the live chat how it's doing right now. And so, whew, so that's what makes live so interesting. Is definitely its own beast. So I'm enjoying it so far. I hope that everyone that comes and watches it, either live or in replay, can enjoy it too. We're definitely going to have some different content, some different interesting stuff going on. So real quick, um, on this Tuesday night live, we'll be talking about what I'd like to call homestead happenings. And basically, that's just a little chat session about what's been going on the homestead. For everyone that's watching and everyone that will come back and watch the replay, we live in an urban setting, so we have an urban homestead, and the total lot is about it's about 0.14 of an acre, so it's super tiny. But that doesn't stop us. We do quite a bit on our little piece of property, if you will. And so, but that's what we're going to kind of look at on these Tuesday night episodes. And then on our Thursday live, if you're interested in joining us, we'll be talking about prepping. and just homestead preparedness, and the things that we can do to be better prepared. And not anything crazy. Let me just say that right now. Not anything crazy. We're not talking about the zombie apocalypse or anything like that. We're just going to be talking about how a homestead can be better prepared, whether it be for storms or for someone losing a job or whatever that may be. And we'll look at different things on that show. But with all that out of the way, how is everyone doing tonight? I'm glad that y'all are here. Tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about fall gardening. So, who out there has already got their fall garden uh, growing? Not me. Our fall garden, well, first off, we're in Texas. So we are in zone 8A. We're just outside Dallas. And our temperatures are pretty hot. In the summertime, we can easily get into the triple digits. I think we hit 114, I think, this year. I think that's what it was. My daughter and I were out for a softball tournament in the Plano area, which is in the Metroplex, and it was, I believe, 114. So it was pretty intense. So in Texas, we do get quite a bit of hot weather, and so our fall garden is really just non-existent right now. The temperature, I mean, it's come down a little bit. We're having a cold front, if you will. It's in the low to mid 90s. So I guess that's a cold front. I mean, I'm not rushing to the closet to get my jacket, but it is definitely a little bit cooler. But so the fall garden has not really started right now. I mean, I'm still very much picking peppers and different greens and different herbs and things like that. And so the fall garden has not begun here in Texas. So at least for us. So if you've got a garden going, what do you have planted? That's something to always think about. So as I was sharing, we have our summer garden is still growing super strong. We have okra and cucumbers and peppers and wow, cucamelons and all sorts of stuff growing out there, but still a little too hot. I mean, today it was 94, I think, and so most fall vegetables would probably just throw their hands up and quit. Um, so, but we are hoping to get started in the next, I don't know, probably the next, I don't know, week or two tops. So we're hoping to get some stuff in the ground. I did go out. If you haven't checked out some of our latest videos, I uploaded a video on our Saturday vlog. Oh, sorry about that. Kind of got stuck there for a second. Okay. So Garcia's Pepper Farm is asking, when am I going to start my pepper seed for next year? Okay, so the way I normally do that is I normally start my pepper seed in December. Um, I normally try to have the first, I don't know, probably the first tier, the first run, if you will. I start those Christmas week. So that's kind of toward the end of December. and that's primarily the super hots. So, if for those of you that are watching, I do grow a variety of different peppers, and so I grow, sweet, hot, super hot, and just downright mean. So I start my super hot peppers, things like Ghost and Up, if you will. So Ghost, Scorpions, Reapers, all of those things. I start those in December, and then I kind of backtrack from there. So in January, I start some of the middle of the road hot peppers, and then sweet peppers are always the last to start because they grow super quick. So, and then they'll stay in years past, they've stayed in the grow room, which is actually right here. You can see my grow shelf right there behind me. I turned off the light so it didn't blind everybody. But that's actually the grow shelf that you've seen in some of my YouTube videos. Um, and they stay in here until they go out. So I start them in December, and when they go out, they've got a nice solid stem. And I don't normally prune them. I have in the past, but when they go out, they're rock solid and ready to go. And then my hardening off process, which I somehow I forgot or just didn't think about it, but I didn't do a video on this year for the 2018 pepper playlist. But the hardening off process for me, I've tried a different number of things, but really what works best for me is I put them in complete shade for about a week, and that is complete shade where they get plenty of wind and things like that, so they're not completely closed off. And then after that, I move them out to a little bit of sun, so they stay out. They don't go outside, come back in, go outside, come back in. They go out and stay out. The ones that survive, those go into the garden. The ones that don't, natural selection, I guess. So he also asked, or Garcia's Pepper Farm also asked, are you working on some pepper crosses? I plan on it this year. So I've ordered some different seeds, and I'm going to make a few crosses. Those will stay, excuse me, those will stay indoors for their life of the plant. So I don't really have any particular crosses in mind just yet. I do want to play with Fatali. I like the pepper. I like the heat level. I like the flavor profile. I'm also going to try crossing some different ghost combinations. A lot of that stuff's already been done, but I want to just learn really how to do that before I dive super, super deep in there. Okay, so what you do is 30 minutes one day, then the next day 40, and I'm assuming 50 in an hour, and so on and so forth. So does that work pretty good for you? Oh, and you'll be working on 3 crosses. Yeah. I've inadvertently crossed things in the past. um, yeah, sorry. If you do it, I guess it does work. That makes sense. But um, I'm just not all about taking them out, bringing them back in, taking them out, bringing them back in. I guess call it laziness. But I got a lot of other stuff going on too. So, um, okay, yeah. Yeah, I've inadvertently crossed things in the past and found out the next year after saving seed and got some weird stuff. At the time, I didn't really think about it. I didn't, save seed and do it again and see, grow that out. But I've definitely crossed some things in the past without even trying. So it's going to be pretty interesting what kind of really crazy Frankenstein type peppers that I could come up with in the laboratory, if you will. But yeah, so if you've got some suggestions, I'd be glad to listen to them. Like I said, I don't really have any crosses picked out just yet, but I do plan on starting some peppers earlier than December as a trial run, being that they won't actually go outside. So we're going to see how those peppers germinate. I've had a couple of people send me some seed, some people over on some of the pepper groups on Facebook. send me some seed, and so I'll be trying some different things out with those. Oh, so you got a grow tent. All right, sweet. Yeah, I wish I had space for that. The only space I can really devote to that would be in my garage, and I just don't think it's stable enough out there. Um, in Texas, it's either super hot or super cold in our garage, so there's no really in between. But I do have a greenhouse, and so I'm tempted to use that. Um, Last year, I built a cattle panel greenhouse, and that worked out like just awesome this year. And so you can definitely there's a video on YouTube on my channel on the greenhouse, um, and so it worked out great. So I'll probably be starting some peppers directly in there as well. Garcia's, yeah, I'm actually on uh, Pepper Lovers. I'm not on it very often, but I am a member already. Um, I'm a member with my name, not with my channel. My name is John Morphis, Morphis, and you can find me. I'm on the Pepper Lover group under my name, not under my channel. So yeah, so I've been following Kane Star on there quite a bit, and some different people, and of course I'm friends with some of those people as well. So yeah, I've been on there for a couple of years now, but and I actually, um, let's see, not this year. Was it this year? One of the either this year or the last year, I started out in the pepper contest. Um, I think I was in the Brazilian starfish contest. Either this year, it wasn't this year, it was last year, and I didn't actually do too well. My starfish peppers didn't make it. So, like I said, what goes outside makes it. Those go in the garden, and what doesn't, yeah, they're toast. So, but yeah, I'm definitely on there, and I'm looking forward to being a little bit more active. So, but sorry, I'm getting a text message. Turn that off. Um, so yeah, the fall garden. I don't know what you grow for a fall garden, or if you do, um, but I did pick up some plants. Uh, on Saturday, I picked up some broccoli and some cabbage plants. Our family, we eat a lot of broccoli. Um, my wife and I, we have 5 kids. Uh, 4 of those kids like broccoli, and so we eat a lot of broccoli, and we eat a lot of, I won't say cabbage made just however, but there are ways that we eat cabbage that we can eat a lot of it. Like fried cabbage, definitely with some bacon and some onions, some garlic. And so I bought some cabbage and some broccoli plants on Saturday, and those will be going out in the garden probably this week over the next day or two. Oh, okay, yeah, you were in the Jay's Peach Ghost contest. Yeah, didn't do well either. Yeah, totally understand that. I will probably try to get in on it again this year, um, and just see. I don't know. I haven't been over there very long. I haven't been over there in a while, so I haven't seen kind of what the plans are so far. If they're already planning what they're, what contests there are. I know that I'm friends with Paula from Gapy's Garden, and she's over there as well. You can find her on YouTube, and so yeah, I can honestly say I've never had that problem with gophers, but I've known people to have problems with it, and it is a very serious problem, and it's hard to really do anything about it. Um, Short of a 22 rifle. uh, yeah, she definitely does have a great channel. Um, and I actually, when I first met her, well, I say met her, I haven't actually met her in person, but when I met her online, I didn't know she had a channel at first at all. I think I found her on Facebook initially, and so I honestly didn't know she had a YouTube channel. So, but yeah, she definitely has a great channel, and she's got some good videos. Um, so yeah, the broccoli and the cabbage will be going out this week. I've got, I don't know if you can see them, right over here. Well, no, not the plants. Right over here on my desk. This is not. I've got a table and then I've got a desk. On my desk, I've got some um, seed starting trays already filled with soil with seed starting mix, and so I'll be starting lettuce and spinach. I've also on my shelf right here. I've got some kale and some Swiss chard. Excuse me, and all that'll be going out as soon as it gets rolling. Uh, and then I've got some carrots that I need to harvest. Um, and then, so when those come out, when the carrots come out that I need to harvest, I'll be replanting with carrots again. They do so well in that side garden. I really need to do like a YouTube garden tour because I do have quite a bit of space on this tight little property. And so, but in my side garden, which is actually out near the front yard, that's where the carrots are. And so they do grow pretty well out there. So I'll be replanting. Yes, I did make a video on the kale and chard seedlings, right wherever that, yeah, right there. They're doing okay. I went a couple of days. Uh, I did some work on the plugs and stuff because I had a light go out, and then I forgot to plug the timer back up. So I had a couple of days where the lights didn't come on automatically, and so yeah, oops, it's happened before, so it's like, oops, I did it again, kind of thing. That's a bad reference to a bad song, um, but so yeah, they kind of got a little leggy, but I think they'll be fine. I turned the lights off just for the video, just for the live stream tonight, so but they're doing better. But yeah, and so yeah, I did make a video on that, definitely, and I do keep myself very very busy, um, too busy at times. Yeah, so between family and my oldest daughter has select softball, and we travel uh, quite a bit now. So we were supposed to be in Taylor, which is down near Austin, just this past weekend, but it got rained out. And then we'll be in Denton, which is in the north part of Dallas. It's about an hour and a half from here. We'll be there in a couple of weeks, and then at the end of October we'll be in Vegas. Yes, Las Vegas for softball, and then the very next weekend after that we'll be in Oklahoma. So definitely keep ourselves busy. So that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. Is I'm trying to rush to get the garden planted because I mean October is bearing down pretty quick. So yes. I'm not really excited about Vegas. Um, I'm definitely one of those people. I like going somewhere once um, to have the experience and to say that I saw the town and ate at a couple of restaurants, whatever, and then probably will never go back. Um, for example, in my younger days, younger, stupider, it's not a word, young, stupid, um, crazy days. That's a good way to describe it. I went to Mardi Gras in New Orleans a couple of times. You would think you'd learn after the first time. I didn't. I didn't. Um, so yeah, definitely. I'll go somewhere and experience it, and then after that, I may never go back. It just depends. Just like with New Orleans, there are great parts of the town. It's a great place to go culture wise. It's a great place to go, just not on Mardi Gras. It's crazy. And so I went with a group of friends. It was not. We did. I mean, we went down to have a good time and all that, and sure, but we didn't go down for what your stereotypical normal Mardi Gras experience. So, um, and then with Vegas, we'll be there we'll be there like 4 days, but we'll spend most of our days on a softball field, and so I will be good, I promise. um, we'll probably go in, drive down the strip, see the lights, maybe go eat somewhere down there, and that's probably just about it. So, um, but yeah, anyways, so we do keep ourselves busy. I'm constantly filming for YouTube or at work or who knows where. Hey, Paul. Hey, it's good to have you here. Honey Grove, Texas. Wow. Hey, Honey Grove. That's really close. That's really close. That's not too bad. Yeah, I know where Honey Grove's at. Yeah, not too far from Paris, right? And yes, definitely, Garcia. Family time is a very very big part of our life, and it's definitely a blessing. Yeah, and we have a lot of family. So if you know, so I've shared this before. If I'm shared it in videos before, but we are a foster family, and so like right now you can see just me, and that's because the foster kiddos can't be on videos or social media or anything like that. Uh, so, but we do have 4 foster children, and it is definitely a fun, interesting thing. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what kind of experience you're going to have. So, but yeah, family is definitely important, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. So, Paul, how's the weather in Honey Grove? Is it hot? Yes, yes, I'm sure it is. So yeah, yes, definitely. I joke all the time when I talk with people that aren't from Texas. They want to know how the weather is. They've heard Texas is great, um, and they want to know how the weather is, and they've heard great things. And Texas is an awesome state. It's definitely one of a kind. I jokingly say the Republic of Texas because it's really, I mean, it's like its own country. I mean, I know there are some, you know, there is a leg to stand on there. We were our own country at one time. It's definitely a very unique place, and I joke with people all the time. We have 3 seasons: hot, hotter, and yeah, it's hot. So yes, Garcia, I do. We have one biological daughter who is 12. She's the softball player, and then we have a 7-year-old girl who we are in the process of adopting. So definitely exciting. And then the other 3, they could be an adoption at some point down the road. So if that's the case, then we're definitely all in. Oh yeah, so you're Coachella, Coachella. Is that how you say that? Coachella, California. Yeah, it does. I'm sure it gets really hot. So is that Southern Cal? I'm sure that's Southern California. Yeah, definitely. uh, so yeah, it's kind of why the Paul. That's kind of why the fall gardening season hasn't really started. Is because it's um, so hot. um, I mean, I go outside. I'm gonna go pick whatever in the garden, and I'm talking 7, 10 minutes tops, and I'm sweating. And I'm not afraid of hard work. I'm not afraid of hot weather, but I like to garden because it's relaxing and fun, and it's not fun if you're sweating and have to drink bottle after bottle after bottle of water to survive. So, so yeah, that's really where the fall garden's at. Paul, are you growing anything this fall? So yeah, I'm also I'm also thinking about um, in planting the garden. I want to do a better job at planting the garden because right now I don't feel that I do a very good job at times. I feel like the the garden, if I did a little bit better of a job planting it, then it would be a little bit more productive. And so what I'm toying with right now is finding a better plan for succession cropping. If you're not familiar with what succession cropping is, essentially the idea, and there's different ways of succession. Um, there's succession like when one crop comes out, you put another crop in. So that's one type of succession. So for example, you would have a row of radishes, and most radishes take depending on the season, depending on the weather, you're going to take 25 to 40 days, I would think, for most radish varieties. Some, if you get into more of like the daikon radishes, even the watermelon radishes, those can take a little bit longer, up to 50 days even. But the idea is when those come out, then you have another crop ready to go in. So what you do is while those are growing, you start the other crop from seed, so that, or you seed start in cups or whatever, so that when those radishes come out, you put the new crop in. And I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty horrible at this. Um, pretty horrible. The other type of succession cropping is you co-plant, if that makes sense. So, for example, you would have, a row of broccoli that you put in when they were small starts, and around those broccoli plants, you planted radishes from seed. So the broccoli plant's going to take on average 65 to 85 days, depending on variety. And so when that broccoli is planted, you go and you plant your radish seeds at the same time. In most cases, the radishes will grow up and be ready to harvest before the broccoli gets large enough to shade that out. That's kind of like co-planting in the same space. Multi-cropping, it just depends on how you want to look at it. And then the third way is to essentially have different different plots of the same crop. So for example, you plant one raised bed with carrots. You plant that on the first of the month. And then on, say, the 15th of the month or the 20th of the month, you plant another raised bed full of carrots. And so what you have is you got a succession harvest. So when that first bed of carrots are harvested, then the second bed is already growing. So that when the second bed is harvested, you've had enough time to either eat the first bed, or you've had enough time to preserve them, whether it be canning or whatever. Um, so that's kind of what I'm trying to work on. I'm horrible at succession growing, so we're trying to get better about it. So Paul says, no, not this fall. I just started some pepper plants for next year. Awesome. We were just talking about that. Um, I'll bring them in to overwinter. Yeah, definitely. I've got a few from this year that I'm going to overwinter. Some really cool varieties. Shame on me, I haven't really done more videos on the varieties and flavor profiles and hot, like the heat level and different things like that. But there are definitely a few that I'm going to save for next year. I've got a couple of daytill. I got 4 daytill plants. I love the daytill pepper now. It's like all that's good about a habanero without the bad. So like the heat levels there, the flavors there, but the weird aftertaste that you get with some habaneros, there's no weird aftertaste on a daytill. So I'm definitely gonna save those. I'm gonna save my Pequeños. I think I said that right. It's the one I struggle to say all through my videos. Pequeño Erasma or Erasma, I think is how it's said. But it's like the little bird beak pepper. Definitely gonna save those. And then I've got like a whole row of jalapenos that I'm gonna overwinter right where they're at. Still trying to figure out the logistics of that. I'm gonna overwinter those, and then I've got a couple of Brazilian starfish out in the side patch where the carrots are. They're doing fantastic. Gonna overwinter them right where they're at. See how it works. So definitely gonna overwinter some. Oh, okay, Garcia, you said uh, I don't have good luck on hydroponic. Yeah, now right now I'm growing mostly in soil. I've done some hydroponics in the past, but right now I just don't have the space. Like I've got the seed starting shelf that you can see here, but ideally that's just not enough space for me right now with the hydroponics. Now I did think about putting some hydro. No, not that kind of hydro. I did think about putting some hydro in the greenhouse and seeing how that would work out. And I also kind of played with the idea of aquaponics, putting some of that in the greenhouse, small tank with just a few fish and a grow bed, and seeing how that worked out. But yeah, definitely, I've had some luck in the past, but I haven't done it in quite some time. In the past, I did some kratky, and I also did a couple of deep water cultures, and they, like I said, they worked out great. I just haven't put anything together since then. Um, yeah, it's definitely all about timing. Um, do they grow right in pots? What are you talking about? What grow right in pots? Hi, Mike Davis. Welcome to the chat. And yes, kale can grow in a 5-gallon container. I've done it before. I don't have a video on it, but I can tell you without a doubt it does grow in a 5-gallon container. Kale, collards, chard, all those things can grow in a 5-gallon container. And there are some things that can grow in less than 5 gallons. You can get some different things like some baby bok choy, lettuce, those things, they can grow in a 1-gallon container, depending on the variety. I'll have a video on that coming up soon because I'm going to grow some in the greenhouse over winter. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, definitely. The vegetables, I've grown practically anything and everything in a pot. Um, because I live on such a small, um, really a small, like I said, 0.14 of an acre. And my landlord, we rent. My landlord is great. I mean, phenomenal. Hands down the best landlord I've ever had. And he will let me pretty much do whatever I want. He let me put in raised beds. He let me grow in the front or the side patch. I could probably even grow in the front yard if I'm sneaky. The city is pretty particular about it, but I could even grow there. So I've grown practically everything in pots: tomatoes, peppers, watermelon, cantaloupe, pretty much all of the greens, like we just talked about: kale, collards, chard, carrots, radishes, lettuce, spinach, peas. I've grown pretty much all of it in pots. Loofah gourds, grown those in pots as well. Strawberries, blueberries, the whole, like pretty much anything you can think about, and they can grow in pots if you have the right soil. The soil, not necessarily, you have to go buy a particular brand, but you need the right mix. You want it to be draining, but also where it'll hold water to some moisture too. No problem, Mike. Not a problem. I'm glad you joined us, and if you have any other questions, I'll be glad to help you out. This fall, actually, I'll be growing some kale, collards, chard, broccoli, cauliflower. I'll be growing all that in containers this fall. Just because I have such, I won't say limited space in the raised beds, but I will say that I'm trying to grow extra. So, oh, how do you get rid of leaf miners? Whew. Um, what I've done in the past, uh, and I mean, what I've done in the past, because I'm all organic, so I don't use any pesticides. I use only organic fertilizers. I have used some synthetic fertilizers before inside, because it reduces the smell. Some of the organic fertilizers can be quite fragrant, if you will. So inside, I have used some synthetic before, and then as soon as they go outside, they go to organic land, if you will. So really, what I do with leaf miners, and I've had them before. I had them last year on my asparagus beans and on my loofah. Um, I had I used my sprayer on my water hose, um, and I've hand picked them too. You can try a soapy water spray, by mixing some Dawn dish soap with some water and some neem oil, and that could work. I have not done that specifically for leaf miners, but that's kind of the go-to spray for bugs. So I know. So Garcia's Pepper Farm says, "Okay, I need to try growing some veggies in pots indoors." Yeah, definitely. I've grown a number of things indoors: lettuce, spinach. I tried growing kale indoors. What I find is you got to not kill the plant in order to get a harvest. And so, that's, hi, Rolling Homestead and Wild Edibles. Awesome. Thank you for joining us. Hey, we're all new to the stream. So, um, but welcome. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, definitely, Garcia, definitely check into it. Try growing some stuff. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Um, the Fox Farms soil, yeah, it's, as long as the key, like I was saying before, is you want to have good drainage, but you also want to have it to where it's not going to dry out super quick. And so I've been on both sides, on both sides of that before, where they've dried out super quick and where they retain too much water. And it really is kind of a fine line. But the first thing you would do is you'd get your soil and then kind of just evaluate what it looks like. And so I've definitely got some videos where I've made some soil mixes before. I would recommend checking those out, and I'd be glad to help you if you had any other, if you had questions when you're doing it, I'll be glad to help. But you want to kind of evaluate the soil. The soil that I use primarily, for starting seedlings or anything like that, really my container base mix is Kellogg's. I went blank. uh, Kellogg's organic potting mix. And so I use it because, one, it's affordable, but two, is it's already got nutrients in it. So it's got bat guano, it's got worm castings, it's got all these different good things in the soil already. And so what I find is really the only thing I need to add just a little bit of is I'll add a little bit of cocoa coir, and that helps to retain moisture. And then I will add a little bit of perlite, and what that does is it adds a little bit of drainage, but also adds a little bit of aeration. You do have to be careful not add too much of the perlite because then your soil will dry out too quick. Um, but other than that, yeah, definitely give it a try. I mean, the worst that could happen is they could die, like you said. So um, it's worth a shot. So I'll be growing some herbs and stuff inside this fall and winter. Um, we eat a ton of cilantro, and so I'll be planting that in the garden in multiple spots. I'll be planting that inside, in the greenhouse, you name it. I'll have cilantro growing in it. Um, okay, so Rolling Homestead said we just started the Back to Eden gardening this year. It was an awesome year 5. Definitely, definitely. So you've had, oh wow, 14-pound butternut squash. Wow. That is a big butternut squash. Whew. I can't even think about that. That's huge. You know what that would cost if you went to the store and bought a 14-pound butternut squash? I can't even think about that. I mean, they charge outrageous prices for stuff like that. So that's definitely that's awesome. That's awesome that's wow, 14 pounds. That's crazy. Um, oh yeah. Oh, so you use Jiffy with BioLife. Yeah, definitely. That's a good choice too. Worm castings, volcano dust. Sweet. Yeah, that's definitely a good choice there. I stopped using Jiffy recently, and it wasn't because there was anything wrong with it, but I found a better option, or the one I say better. Scratch that. I found an option that was easier. It was easier to find here where I'm at, and what I could do is I would wait to the end of the season or really close, like now, and I would buy up all their seed starting mix, all the Jiffy brand seed starting mix, or in this case, when I changed, I would buy all the Burpee. It's an organic mixture, and it's phenomenal. So, and I always get it for like $1 a bag. If you time it just right, you can find it cheap. And I've actually got a video on that too, on a frugal gardening haul, and that's one of the things I bought in that video. Oh yeah, definitely. I'll definitely check that out. Rolling Homestead said that some of the pepper plants are over 5 foot. That is, I've had some pepper plants go over 5 foot before. Um, I don't know what varieties you have. I mean, what varieties do you have? I've had some pepper plants do that in the past. The ones I had do it in the past, I had a Fatali plant that went over 5 foot, and I mean, I don't have any pictures because that was way before YouTube. That was way before my Instagram channel or my Instagram page or anything like that. But it was huge. So I know it could be done. That's awesome that you have some 5 foot pepper plants. I bet they're producing quite a bit. Yes, that's definitely a lot of squash. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out, Rolling Homestead. I'll check it out. I'm really curious to see your setup. Uh, I've got a lot of work to do in the garden to get ready for fall. I'll have a greenhouse episode coming up soon where I'm talking about, the task and everything on hand to do or to get the greenhouse ready to go. I've got a few things that I want to do in there. And yes, Garcia's pepper farm, I definitely find the deals. Um, I definitely look for. I go to Dollar General, I go to Family Dollar, I go to Walmart, I go to Tractor Supply, I go to all those places, and I find the deals. I can usually buy organic fertilizer. Oh, at Home Depot. Home Depot will put on their fertilizer on sale usually about this time because they're trying to make shelf space either for new product or for a different product. And so I've bought fertilizer for, I mean, $1 a bag for granular or $1 a bottle for liquid. Um, so definitely check the sales out. Check the stores out. Like all these seed starting trays that you see. I don't know if you can see them right over there. So on this desk, you can see right here, right over there. I got all those seed starting trays for $1 a piece. They're normally $5 at the Family Dollar or Dollar General, wherever you buy them. Really, they're $5. I got them for $1 a piece. And right next to that, you can see that there's sourdough. That is my sourdough starter. I have 4 going. Um, but yeah, I definitely check the sales. I buy a lot of my stuff on sale because one, I don't want to spend the money to get all that stuff. I don't want to use a crazy amount of money on those things. I've got money that I have no issue using it, but I don't want to use it when I can find it cheaper. So I like to be frugal. Walmart here, they don't really do much. Here they just, I don't know what they do. Here Walmart just clears out the lawn and garden. They put some things on sale, but rest of it they just throw it on a shelf and they won't even sell it to you cheap. Same thing with ripped bags of soil. They don't really put it on sale here. I've went in before and tried to haggle and tried to get bags of soil for cheaper because they were ripped or because they were faded, and they're like, nope, they're full price. It's like, okay, bye. So, Rolling Homestead chilies and sweet peppers. So that's pretty awesome. I've got a variety of each of those growing. None of them are over 5 foot though. So, not this year, anyways. Yes, what I do now for starting mix is I do buy the Burpee when I can find it on sale. It's a Burpee organic starting mix, and I find that between it and Jiffy, this is the one downfall I had with Jiffy. Between the organic Burpee and the Jiffy doesn't have any nutrients in it, and that's okay. There's not a problem with that. But what I find with me is I'll start the seeds, they'll sprout, and then somehow, some way, I'll miss a feeding. And then before too long, if I miss 1 or 2 or 3 or however it is, because I'm crazy like that, they'll tend to yellow. And then what I find is once they yellow, it's hard to get a seedling back. So what I tried to do is I tried to correct my issue first and not miss the feedings or transplant them sooner into good soil, and that worked. And that's what I did for a long time, is just transplanted them sooner into soil that was good, like the Kellogg brand with worm castings, and I would add worm castings and granular fertilizer to it, and then they would be good for the lifetime that they're in the house, in the grow room. But what I found was the Burpee seed starting mix actually has some nutrients in it. And so what that would do was, when I found that on sale, I bought it, and then it would actually kind of give me a little bit of a buffer time, so I could let them go a little bit longer before transplanting. And this past year, the plants that are in the garden now, when I started seeds, I had probably 200 seeds that turned into 200 plants. And so when you have 200 plants, that's a lot of plants to transplant multiple times. So I try to transplant once, and then they grow in that cup until they go out. And so, like I said before in the beginning of the live, they end up having a nice, strong stem. And most of the time, they are starting to put on flowers when I transplant them. And what I do is I normally pull all the flowers off for about a week or 2 weeks to let them take root. And then after that, I don't pinch flowers or anything. I let them take its natural course. But what I've done also is I make my own starter mix too, and I use the Kellogg, and I sift out using my compost screener. I sift out any of the large stuff, and I add in some coco coir, some worm castings, and that's it. and it works really, really well for seed starts. So it just kind of depends on what I have on hand. If I hit the sales up before and got stuff on sale, or if I just buy the Kellogg's is like $5.50 a bag. It's a great. I mean, it's a great buy. Um, is that master blend? No. The fertilizer I'm talking about buying at Home Depot on sale is not master blend. Normally they'll put on their uh, things like Vigoro, which is a liquid fertilizer. You can get a liquid form of it. It's non-organic, but like I said, most of the time, if I do ever use a synthetic fertilizer, it's only in the grow room, and that is because when they go outside, I use compost tea. I use fish fertilizer, like fish emulsion, things like that, and I use a granular organic fertilizer, and all those things smell. So yeah, I don't want to bring that inside. The wife will kill me. The powder next to my what? The powder next to my tray? No, that is actually sourdough starter to make sourdough bread. Um, and no, that's sourdough starter. um, Rolling Homestead. We got the Ghost and Reaper peppers to go in here, Wisconsin. That's great. Man, that's crazy, Wisconsin, man. I don't know how y'all do it. Um, it's gotta be cold up there. I think I would like cold a little bit better than hot. I mean, you can always put layers on, but you can only take so much off before you get in trouble. So I think, but I don't know that I would like Wisconsin because that's like I don't know. I was talking to someone on the live show. It was RG Homestead. I was talking to them on the live show on Thursday morning, and they were saying that they get like -9, and they're like in Arizona, I believe, up at a higher elevation. So I just don't. Yeah, I don't know. No problem, Garcia. Yeah, that's definitely the sourdough. I have a weakness for sourdough bread. We met the aldermans uh, that over the aldermans on YouTube. We met them at the Great Appalachian Homesteading Conference in May. We had been following their channel for some time before that, but we met them in May and bought some sourdough starter. And since then, we've been hooked. And that's actually not their sourdough starter. This is my own homemade starter, but we've been hooked ever since. We've been making sourdough bread, different things. We make some regular. We make some jalapeno cheddar. We make some cinnamon. We make some basil, like Patty does, and it's phenomenal. I can't imagine my life without sourdough now. And it's super easy to do. If you haven't checked out my video, I've got a video on how to make a sourdough starter from scratch, and it's easy. So check that out. Um, yeah, no, I had one Reaper, this year, and it didn't do well either. It didn't make it for some reason. With my Reapers, every year I got about a 50% chance, and that's at best. So in years past, I've had very little success with the Reaper. Last year, I actually had pretty decent success. Harvested several. You can look at my Instagram page to see some of the harvest pics. But this year they did not make. Yes, rolling homestead. I think a greenhouse is definitely a have to where you're at. We've got a greenhouse here. We use it for just a few months, and then it goes unused because in triple digits. When it's triple digits outside, it's like you add like 30 degrees on the inside. So yeah, it's not good. But I do have some cool plans for it this next year. So I have I'm gonna try heating it this fall. It is unheated right now by design. My wife and we both talked about not wanting to use any sort of power, no electric or anything out there. We wanted to do it all natural, and I just didn't get around to it. And so by design, it just doesn't have heat. Uh, so it's really more of like a high tunnel, if you will, right now. But I do plan on heating it using some thermal mass this year. Definitely look, I'll be putting a video up about that. And I've got a few other things planned for it, and we'll see how that all goes. But if you want to check out an older video of the greenhouse back in the spring, you can check out the spring greenhouse update. I haven't made one in a while, but I need to get around to it. And yeah, they definitely get hot. I love potato bread too, and if I knew how to make it, I would. Maybe something to add to the list. Yeah. That will probably be one that I'll probably be starting those soon. I'll probably be starting the Reapers real soon. Probably within the next, I don't know, month. I'd like to get a couple months head start on Reapers. Just because, like I said, I have like a 50-50. I always start, well, I do the double cut method, and it works phenomenal. I've been doing that for a long, long time. Probably 10 years I've been doing the double cut method. It's worked out really good in the past. It works really well. I was super excited when I saw King start doing it. I'm not saying he got it from me because he didn't. I was not on YouTube or anything like that. He definitely was the first to post it on YouTube, but I was using it a long time before that. And I can totally understand why he uses it because it really does work. It's a great system to use. And so I was super encouraged when someone else was using it. I thought maybe, I don't know what I thought. Maybe, maybe I thought that I was the inventor. I don't know, but definitely works great. And that's what I'll be doing again. I'll be starting Reapers for sure. I'll probably be starting some Scorpions inside as well, super early, because I want to see if they make it through those early stages. Because with the Reapers, I've lost a lot in the early stages. So definitely be growing those inside. So that's really about it. I kind of plan on talking about, with the fall garden, I kind of plan on talking about starting seeds versus direct sowing. And I think we'll finish after that. But real quick, I think moving forward, and maybe y'all can let me know, Rolling Homestead, Paul, in Garcia, and in, I don't, direct sowing in straight into the garden versus starting seed. The more and more I do it, I think what I'm going to lean toward is direct sowing. And so what I plan on doing this year in the fall garden is really test some of those things out. I'll be direct sowing a lot of the plants straight into the garden. So I bought the broccoli plants. They'll be going in one bed. And then in another bed, I'll be planting broccoli seed. And I want to see how that goes. So, and then when it comes time to start pepper plants, I'll be starting pepper plants inside on the grow shelf right here behind me. But I'll also be starting some directly not in the garden, but directly in the greenhouse. So we'll see how that goes as well. So definitely stay tuned for some updates. That's really about it, guys. I do want to remind you, or share with you real quick. I do have my social media. I would love for you to join me over on social media. You can check us out on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and even on Snapchat. And most of those are just Backyard Eden. I will say the most active of those is Facebook or Instagram. I post a lot of pictures on Instagram. You will see pictures, like I haven't posted this picture yet. I do plan on doing it soon. You will see pictures like this. This is the harvest of peppers, and this is not even all. This is a harvest I did yesterday. I harvested, and there's some jalapenos, daytils, shishitos, the biquinos, all sorts of peppers in here. I harvested this for a friend of ours, someone that works with my wife. Um, so I post pictures on Instagram quite regularly. I've been kind of slacking off a little bit lately, but definitely check that out. And then you can also jump on over to our Facebook group. It is Backyard Eden and Friends. Join in there on with the conversation. It's really just a great opportunity to talk with you on a day-to-day basis. Share what you're doing on your homestead, in your garden, with your peppers, whatever you want to share. Share it in the group. Uh, and it's a way for me to be able to see what you're doing. And I'm definitely going to be going through and checking out the channels. I'm super excited for the channels that I'm going to be watching that are here in the chat with us right now. I'll be watching those channels over the next day or two and just seeing what y'all are doing. That makes it exciting. And if you haven't already seen my shirt, it says, "Let us turn up the beat." That's what I'm talking about. We made that here. Not super special, but pretty awesome. Okay, guys, that's all I got today. I hope you enjoyed it. I've enjoyed chit chatting with y'all. Definitely come back if you're interested in prepping, any kind of prepping. Definitely come back and check us out Thursday mornings at 11 a.m. That is Central Standard Time. Thanks, Garcia. Yeah, I really like it. We make shirts all the time. We've got a heat press sitting right here on the table, right behind the computer. So, but anyways, if you're interested in prepping anything, just being prepared, how to store food, any of those sort of things, I'll be diving into that on Thursday mornings at 11. We'll be talking about different scenarios, different situations you would need to prepare for. And so definitely join us then. And of course, back here, same time, same place, Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's it, guys. I'm glad you all came. It was great to have you, great to chat with you. And thank you, Garcia. I appreciate that, those kind words. But that's it, guys. I hope you have a great night, and I will see you next time on the live show.